Welcome to Power Your Profits podcast, your friendly guide in bringing your business revenue to the next level. Listen as host Dr. Susie Carder hears inspiring stories of success from her fellow entrepreneurs and transformational leaders. Prepare to make significant change to your strategies as they unravel the secrets of building multi-million-dollar businesses and the most effective tips on finance, marketing, and sales accountability. If you want to take your first steps towards explosive business growth, this podcast is for you. Without further ado, here is your host, Dr. Susie.
Welcome to this episode of Power Your Profits. I am your host, Susie Carder, and today's guest is a long-term friend, long-time client, long-term vendor that I've been using for years, 20-some years. So Jill is an international speaker on topics of publicity, networking, kindness, and referral. She's the author of 4 best-selling books, including Get Noticed, Get Referrals by McGraw-Hill, co-author of Guerrilla Publishing and the Networking Magic. Her latest book, Profit of Kindness, and has written #1 in 4 different categories. Jill's a master strategist on how to position your business for more profitability, more visibility in the marketplace. She's a CEO and a strategic consultant about visibility in the marketplace. She is juicy. Been doing this for 25 years, has reached over 100,000 people. I believe it's more, right? We've been sharing the stages for a year. Jill teaches virtual publicity crash course and consults and speaks all over the world. She is a crowd pleaser. She's spoken on many stages like mine, Tony Robbins. She's also leads an intentional kindness community. Please welcome our guest, Jill Lublin. Oh my gosh, Jill, thank you so much for joining us. You have been one of my secret weapons, and I love when I can introduce our tribe to my secret weapons. And I'm not saying that to say that. Jill and I have known each other for 20-some years. I don't know how many. It's just been a while. And we're going to talk about how we met, because it's part of your content and how we met. Like, it's one of those things that you do naturally. But Jill, tell everybody who you are and what is your genius and your magic, and who do you serve?
Oh, thank you, Susie. Well, you, my dear, are magic, and just always delighted to be with you. What I do is I'm a international speaker. I help people in the area of publicity, particularly. I've written 4 books, and super excited about that. And I also run an intentional kindness community based on the profit of kindness. So that's my main thing I'm doing now. As far as my magic, it's really about not only finding the message that matters, but really helping people get in the news and make sales happen because of media happening to them. And then I love my kindness circle. It's my passion project, and gosh knows we all need more kindness in this world.
Yes, we do. And you are one of the kindest people I know. And from a place of authenticity, right? Not like bullshit, just total authenticities. If you don't know Jill, you will find that. So let's talk about publicity is huge, right? If I've learned anything from you is if you're not being seen, you're not being heard, you're definitely not getting paid. So how does somebody really get started in creating their own publicity?
Well, the first big thing is get clear on your message. And I think, Susie, the mistake a lot of entrepreneurs make is you're all excited about what you're offering, and that's a beautiful thing. I want you to be excited because that energy does translate into media, but I also want you to get clear on a message that matters to the media, and that's where the difference lies. So that's a key piece of finding out what problem are you solving in the marketplace that the media cares about, not necessarily even your customer, believe it or not. So it's just a slightly different shift in your mindset with regard to media, and knowing that you are a solution to a problem, and the media wants to feature you because you're solving problems. And then I'll give you a fun hack strategy to get in other ways too, in just a bit.
I'm like, oh, okay. Right. Look at it. She's dropping those nuggets to keep us up. I love it. One thing I learned about Jill was drop those nuggets. Don't give it all away. And so when I look at, media has been huge in my business, and, you're the one that really got me noticing that it is all around you. There's opportunity all around you. So when do I hire a PR company, or can I do it on my own? Like, what's the difference? When should I do that? Why should I do that?
Well, listen, I wrote the book Guerrilla Publicity. I am big on small and big things you can do on your own. And if you've got $4,000 or $5,000 a month lying around, great. Hire a PR agency, but truthfully, you're still going to roll the dice. So I always want people to be prepared and educated and have some bottom line foundation things. I don't care if you've got, a ton of money for wonderful investment in your PR. You still need to have some good foundation. So one of those, besides the message, is the truth is you can train. Listen, I do this with a lot of my clients. I train their VAs with scripts, media scripts, to smile and dial and call the media and make stuff happen day to day, as opposed to hope and pray that, your media agency will do that for you. But I like combination strategies. I never like all your eggs in one basket. I think that's a dangerous place to be. And honestly, if you hire a PR agency, you've put all your eggs in one basket. So, my friends, couple things. One is, using your local media is a fabulous way to get practice. Not only practice, but frankly, what I've noticed is when you're in your ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox News TV affiliates, like in your marketplace, what happens is you often will get picked up by the big ones because they're scanning all the local peeps. So, it's really an important piece to become a celebrity in your own backyard and use your local media to start.
Exactly.
You're listening to another episode of Power Your Profits podcast. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. Are you tired of struggling to take your business to the next level? Power Your Profits is the game-changing book you've been waiting for. Dr. Susie Carder, creator of the Predictable Success Method, reveals her proven strategies for explosive growth. From daily operations to marketing systems, this comprehensive guide empowers you to achieve predictable revenue and profit growth. Don't miss out on this invaluable wisdom. Transform your business today. Find your copy at books.poweryourprofits.com. Overwhelmed by the complexity of business profit strategies? Jump aboard the Bullet Train to Big Profits course, a streamlined solution by Dr. Susie Carder. This course is designed to uncomplicate the path to profitability. Imagine being able to identify and execute profit strategies with ease, skyrocketing your revenues. Visit course.poweryourprofits.com and sign up for the Bullet Train to Big Profits course today.
So when I look at how do we measure, because I've done both. I've done it myself. I've hired a PR company when we wrote the book. So what should I expect for my return on investment, or how do I measure, is it working? Because when I first started, I'm like, okay, so I got an article published, now what? Right? Because that's only the beginning, which was painful to know. That was the beginning, not the end. I thought that was the end. There was so much work to get it. And then it's like, no, how do I leverage it? So what should we expect for an ROI, or how do we do that?
So a couple things. One is everything matters and everything counts. Your article, great, right? You start wherever you start. I don't care if it's a one-line mention in a local, listen, I had a woman come up to me. She said, I'm hiring you in a hot second because I got a 250-word article in her local Wisconsin newspaper, and she got a $5,000 client. Now, I'm going to tell you, I have story after story of people who have one article or one appearance, and yes, it leads to huge amounts of sales. One woman did a podcast with 42 books sold in 10 minutes. That will happen. There will also be times where you're going like, why is the phone quiet, right? Or what happened to my, web stats? But I have seen consistently, you're in this for a long game, my friends. This isn't a short game, one-hit wonder. And if you want that, that's probably not going to serve you long-term. Publicity is about ongoing trust and visibility and credibility and driving prospects and clients to notice that you're incredible and to be seen and heard and get paid, as you say. That's why we do publicity. So it's a consistent, persistent game. Right? Now, there'll be times where you will see powerful sales happen, prospects flying in, and honestly, the trust factor. And I think that's a big thing of why you keep your eye on the publicity ball for the impact and trust that gets created consistently. And that is honestly the number one reason I want y'all to do this. Sales is going to happen because of your persistency and being in the game. Think about the music business, actors, when they fade out of publicity or being, interviewed, you kind of forget about them, don't you? Why do you think actors and musicians in particular, those two, are always doing interviews? To keep their name forward, right? And you will buy their albums, you will go see their movies, et cetera, et cetera. So I want you to play this game as an entrepreneur, knowing that with your consistent focus in media, people will be thinking of you, you're top of mind, the power of your message stays in the forefront versus fades into the background. And that's what will happen if you don't do anything, right? So I'm not saying you have to get on in the New York Times and, Good Morning America every single day, but I want you to stay consistent and persistent to keep those prospects and profits happening. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, so I can't put my finger on and go, this is what press got me. But what I can tell you is our first year when I launched this brand, we went from nobody in our database, right? Because I launched this brand brand new. I was working with another expert in the field and I had nothing, right? No assets, no database, because people go, oh, you got the hookup. I got no hookup. There was no hookup. I was the hookup. There was no hookup. So just so everybody else, right? We went from 0 to 9,000 people in our database in a year. And like you said it was a full, like it's a 360 experience. It was our podcast. It was our interview. It was our written press. It was our radio press. It was like I did everything I could possibly imagine following, like Jill's recommendations, do this, do this, do this, do this. Like I'm a great teacher because I'm a great student. And to know that was huge, right? For just to go, well, that's one ROI that I can see, right? Other ones would be being picked up to speak on stages, or another outlet interviewed me for another thing. So it all has this domino effect, if you will. And it's one of those, like you said, elusive things to manage. They go, every dollar in, you're not getting $1 back, right? Like if you do a Google ad or a Facebook ad, they can give you a ROAS. What's the ROAS?
But everything you just said was publicity, right? Yeah. And do not be fooled, my friends, by thinking social media is publicity. Now, your message on social media is publicity, but I just want to say, please stop thinking I'm doing social media, therefore I'm doing publicity. Publicity, I think, is going to pay you off so much better. It's not like, you hope somebody saw it. Now, do I think it's all important? Yes. Do I think your message plays into social media? Yes. But I want you all to know it's really key to think of publicity as what you read, what you see, what you watch, in terms of all the podcasts, everything Susie just named was all publicity. That's what's key.
Yeah. So I was just I do the end of the year stats of here's how many interviews we did. Here's how many podcasts we did. Oh my gosh. There was 232 things that I did last year that were generating publicity, right? And you see a correlation between that number and our sales, right? That number and our productivity. So even if you're not managing the numbers, I love KPIs. I love looking at that. I love measuring. It works, right? When I look at long haul. So let's shift just a little bit and talk about networking, because you are a networking queen. You and I met networking at a different kind of event. So how have you built your career in networking? Because you are one of the masters.
Oh, thank you. Well, let me just say a few things. One is you got to network. I mean, you talk about measuring, Susie. I measure for networking. So while I was doing more in-person events, I measured for 4 a month. And I always tell my clients at least two a month. Now, I have to tell you, with the wonderful virtual world, I've been in like heaven because I get to network everywhere. And I'm actually up to 8 a month. Yes, 8 a month. All I have to do is turn on my Zoom camera. Don't even get in my car. It's so easy. So I really want to say to people, you must measure for networking. I want you in groups, that can provide business and transaction. And then you might also want to look at what I might call collaborative. Like if you're an attorney, maybe you go to CPA meeting, right? And look to see where are partner organizations that need what you have. So I would definitely encourage you to do that. And then, do those groups that just feed you. I do love women's groups, but guess what? I do a lot of business in my women's groups. So just something to know. But I want at least 2 a month from every single one of you. Check. And frankly, if you can double that, that's great. But let's start with 2 a month. No kidding. And that, I think, will make a big difference for you. And networking is about, what can I give, right? Who do I know that can help you? Listen, I was just vacationing in Costa Rica. I went to this vegan restaurant, one of the best, I might add. And I'm not even a vegetarian. I love this place. And, immediately I thought of one of my clients who's been in my publicity boot camp, and she is a vegan marketer. Learning, by the way, from me as a publicity marketer. Notice that, my friends. Always stay learning, always stay growing. Susie said it. I'm a great teacher because she's a great student, right? You always need to be learning and investing in yourself that way, which is why I know you're here listening to the amazing Susie. And the issue is, I immediately thought of who can help her market this amazing restaurant and hotel, right? And one of my clients in my circle comes up. So I'm always looking for, who do I know who can help?
Yes.
If you come from that place, I promise you good results in your own business and multiplication of your marketers. You know why? People are going to market for you because you're marketing for them. It's just the natural inclination of reciprocity. And of course, you give because you want to give. And guess, what happens, right? But I also want to say, in networking, because I am a great networker, you also deserve to be paid for your efforts. If you are bringing people to people because of relationships, you should be paid a referral fee. In some industries, it might be called something else, but I would tell you, ask for referral fees and set these things up as much as possible beforehand. And, do the best you can. But I think, at least, if nothing else, a nice gift card, some kind of acknowledgement to people. You always want to be rewarding your marketers, because what I always see is you have a cadre of marketing possibilities, including those that you serve and that you give to, that are your students, that are your clients. They are willing to market for you. And you just sometimes have to ask. I think a lot of times with networking, people forget to ask. And so one of the things I call it is the who question. Who do you know who? Call it the who question, my friends. And ask that question a lot of people.
Yes. I'm a note taker. Sorry. I'm taking notes while Jill's talking. Look, this is not a passive conversation. I know I need this every single day. So let's talk about your kindness project, because I know it is your baby and it's, the thing that your love project that you love doing. So let's talk about it. What is it? Why'd you start it? Kind of give us that overview. And then how do we play inside of our kindness project?
Absolutely. So when I wrote The Profit of Kindness, I got one of those, whispers of inspiration. And that was to start kindness circles. And I have to tell you, I was busy promoting a book and doing my publicity, like I still am, and in terms of serving others with my publicity boot camps, etc. Well, then when the pandemic hit, I thought, okay, now is the moment. Everybody needed kindness, needed help, needed support. And I put together kindness circles. Literally, we have them every month. It's only 1 hour, once a month. And I bring in a 10-minute amazing speaker, probably people you all heard of, super, super inspiring. And then we break into circles, literally, where we help each other with kindness. So I made it very accessible. And in fact, I'm gifting this now out to the world, and they can join it. Please do, jilllublin.com/kindness circles. And please be my guest. It would be great to have all of you. And as we know, the world needs it now, and we create it right there in Zoom with each other.
I love that, Jill. Thank you. Thank you for the invite. We'll also put the link in the show notes so that you have those. And so let's talk about one of the sleeping dogs that everybody knows they need to do, but they don't do. It's how I build my business. And let's talk about referrals. and the power of referrals, and how do you leverage those in your business and for your clients?
Okay, so referrals is a lot like the networking conversation. Number one, ask for it, and be a little bold. I find it's interesting. People deliver a great service and you're right there with people. And then maybe there's that point where you kind of fall back, maybe scared to ask. Here's what I know. Number one, good time to ask is right in the middle of your relationship with your wonderful clients. And one thing to do is just say, listen, I'm expanding my business. I like to put it like that. I'm expanding my business and I'd like to serve more people. I know you've been happy with my service. Might there be 3 names? I like to ask for 3. That forces people to think of at least 1 to 2, right? Might there be 3 names that you can provide and an email introduction or a text introduction? So one of the things is ask for what you want. And referrals are one of those things you kind of got to do that. The other thing is, make it easy for people. Everybody who's in my publicity crash course, one thing we do is we actually provide a letter to each person that says, hey, I just attended Jill's publicity crash course. I loved it. And, here's the things I got. And I wanted to invite you in at her special. So I give them the code that they can use for the special, right? Which is a significant discount. And guess what? One of those letters, which by the way, I only did this once, that's a rinse and repeat, right? And I think I got 5 referrals from one woman recently, into the course. Boom. They just clicked the link because they trusted her as a referral. So your, people who are referring, remember they're trusted referrals to their beautiful golden network, right? And that's important. So with that, I just really want to encourage you because I think, honestly, people forget to ask, including me sometimes, by the way, just forget to ask. So I built it in. Like when I teach my courses, I've got a place built in to ask for testimonials, to ask for referrals, and to let them know that we make that process easy for them.
What I love is it's a system, right? So it's consistent. Yes. And we get busy being busy because you're crazy busy. I'm crazy busy. That is, if it's not built in, we leave it to chance. So Jill's not leaving her success to chance. It's not wishful thinking. It's not sprinkle fairy dust. It's a system.
Exactly.
So, you have some hack or you have some tools, you have a gift for us. What is that? Because we love that.
Oh, absolutely. So what I've done is prepared an action guide full of great publicity tips because I know we have a short time together today. So there's more, my friends. There's always more. And it's a 2-step fun gift because guess what? I have a free publicity masterclass that you get to be my guest at, and that's included in the free gift at publicitycrashcourse.com. Publicity Crash Course /free gift. And that'll get you right to the wonderful opportunity to have another free publicity masterclass with you. That's live with me. I'll answer all your PR questions there also.
Oh my gosh, so good. Jill is so easy, like simple doable things that you can do tomorrow, right? It's not like you've got to go study and do all this work. Like you already have most of it done, right? So Jill, thank you. Thank you for your time and your genius and always being so generous with us and our community. And we look forward to following you. If you love this episode, please like Jill, please send it to your friends and your community. Somebody needs this message. So make sure that you share it out into your tribe and your community, put it on your social media so more people can find Jill and get the help they need to grow the business they love and desire. Jill, thank you so much and have a blessed day.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Power Your Profits podcast. Let these building blocks from today's most successful industry leaders equip you with the necessary resources and tools to finally establish the highly profitable business of your dreams. Want to hear more? Listen to more episodes at www.poweryourprofitspodcast.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the show. Now is your time to rise to the top of your game. So be sure to catch our next episode. Until next time.